The alarm went off on the bridge of the Wandering Spirit. Captain Jake Morrison jumped from his chair and looked at the main screen. Something big was out there. Something really big. His heart started beating fast. Jake had been in space for 3 months. Earth sent him and his crew to explore the stars. They were the first humans to travel faster than light. Everything had been quiet until now. But now there was a ship in front of them. An alien ship. It was 10 times bigger than their own. Amy Chen sat at the communications desk. She was young and smart. Her hands shook a little as she pressed the buttons. She looked back at Jake with wide eyes. "They are calling us, Captain," she said. Her voice was quiet. Jake took a deep breath. He fixed his uniform and tried to look brave. "Put them on screen," he said. The screen changed. An alien face appeared. It looked like a lizard but walked on 2 legs like a human. It had scales that shined with many colors. The strangest thing was its eyes. It had 4 eyes on its face. They were set in a square pattern, 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. The alien wore a uniform covered with medals and symbols. "I am Commander Zithrax of the Caltharian Empire," the alien said. The computer changed its words into English. "You have come into our space. This space is not allowed for others. Tell me who you are right now. If you do not, we will destroy your ship." Jake felt his mouth go dry. He looked at Lisa Grant. She was his second in command. Lisa was calm and smart. She always helped him make good choices. She gave him a small nod. It meant everything would be okay. "This is Captain Jake Morrison," he said. He tried to keep his voice steady. "We are from Earth. Our ship is called the Wandering Spirit. We come from the Sol System. We did not know this space was yours. We are sorry. We come in peace. We do not want to fight." Commander Zithrax stared at him. All 4 eyes got smaller. It looked like the alien was angry or confused. "Maybe both, Sol System?" The alien said the word slowly. "We have no information about any people living there. How did you get the power to travel faster than light?" "We made it ourselves," Jake said. "About 5 years ago. We tested it many times. Now we are exploring space. We want to see what is out here." The alien made a strange sound. It was like a hiss mixed with clicking. The computer said it was laughter, but it did not sound happy. "That is not possible," Zithrax said. "The Caltharian Empire took 7,000 years to make this technology. You say you did it by yourselves?" "I do not believe you." Jake felt a little angry. "Well," he said, "we had very smart people working on it. And we had lots of coffee. You should never think small of what humans can do when they have enough coffee." Behind Jake, someone made a small laugh sound. It might have been Danny Cooper. He was the pilot of the ship. Danny always thought Jake was funny. Zithrax did not change his face. "This is not a time for games," he said. "You will come with us to our station. We will study you and your people. If you try to run away or fight, we will destroy you." Lisa spoke up. "What do you mean by study us? What will you do?" "We will decide if your people can join the Empire," Zithrax said. He talked like he was reading from a list. "If you cannot join, we will keep you away from others. If that does not work, we will remove you." "Remove us?" Jake said. "You mean kill us?" "If needed, yes," the alien said. He said it like it was nothing important, like he was talking about the weather. Jake and Lisa looked at each other. This was not what they expected. They had practiced many times for meeting aliens, but none of their practice included this. "Okay," Jake said slowly. "I guess we do not have a choice." "We will follow you, Commander Zithrax. That is a good choice, human," Zithrax said. "Follow our ship. Stay on the path we show you. If you go away from the path, we will think you want to fight." The screen went black. Lisa moved closer to Jake. "That went well," she said quietly. Her voice was full of worry, but she tried to make a joke. "It could be worse," Jake said back. "They could have shot us right away." "The day is not over yet, Captain," Amy said from her desk. She was trying to smile, but her hands still shook. Danny turned around in his pilot chair. "Can I say something, Captain?" he asked. "Yes, go ahead," Jake said. "That alien has no sense of humor at all," Danny said. "Like zero, none. Did you see his face when you talked about coffee?" "Nothing, not even a small smile." Lisa looked thoughtful. "You're right," she said. "That is strange. I wonder if all of them are like that. Maybe it is just how their people are." Jake watched the alien ship on the screen. Their ship started to move. The computer made their ship follow it. "Well," he said, "we are going to spend time with them now. I guess we will learn more about them." The trip took several hours. The alien ship was fast, but not too fast. Jake guessed they wanted to make sure the human ship could keep up. During the trip, the crew stayed quiet. Everyone was thinking about what might happen. Jake sat in his chair and thought about Earth. He thought about his family. His sister Katie was back home with her 2 kids. His mom and dad were probably watching the news about the mission. They were proud of him, but they were also scared. Space was dangerous, and now it was more dangerous than anyone knew. Lisa came and sat next to him. "Are you okay?" she asked. Jake nodded. "Just thinking," he said, "about how we might be the first humans to die in space. Not from an accident, but from aliens who think we are not good enough." "We are not going to die," Lisa said. Her voice was strong. "We are going to talk to them. We are going to show them that humans are smart and good. We are going to make them see that we deserve to be here." "How?" Jake asked. "They seem pretty set on their way of doing things." Lisa smiled a little. "We will be ourselves," she said. "That is what we are good at. Being human." Jake smiled back. He felt a little better. Lisa always knew what to say. The alien ship finally started to slow down. Ahead of them, a huge station appeared. It was the biggest thing Jake had ever seen. It was like a city in space, bigger than any city on Earth. Lights shined from thousands of windows. Ships moved in and out like bees around a hive. "Look at that," Danny said. His voice was full of wonder. "That thing is massive." The alien ship led them to a docking area. Their ship moved slowly into position. Metal arms reached out and grabbed their ship gently. There was a soft bump as they connected to the station. "We have docked," Amy said. "They are asking us to open our airlock." Jake stood up. "Lisa, you are with me," he said. "Everyone else stays here. Danny, you are in charge while we are gone. If something bad happens, you get the ship out of here and go back to Earth. Tell them everything." "Captain," Danny said. He looked worried. "You will come back, right?" Jake tried to smile. "Of course," he said. "We are just going to have a talk. Nothing bad will happen." But as he walked to the airlock with Lisa, Jake was not sure if that was true. He was not sure at all. The airlock door opened with a soft sound. Jake and Lisa stepped through. The air felt different here. It was cooler and smelled strange. Not bad, just different. Like metal and something else they could not name. Commander Zithrak stood waiting for them. Behind him were 6 guards. The guards were not all the same. 2 were like Zithraks with scales and 4 eyes. 3 looked like giant bugs walking on 2 legs. They had hard shells and many arms. The last one looked like a walking mushroom. It was tall and had no face that Jake could see. "You will come with me," Zithrak said. "Your crew will stay on your ship. Our guards will watch them." "I want to bring my second officer," Jake said. He made his voice strong. He tried not to sound scared. "That is not how we do things," Zithrak said. All 4 of his eyes got smaller again. "Well, threatening to kill people before they eat breakfast is not how we do things either," Jake said. "Lisa comes with me. That is final. I will not change my mind." The alien stared at Jake for a long time. It felt like forever. The guards moved a little. Their hands went to their weapons. Jake could feel his heart beating hard in his chest. But he did not look away from Zithrax. Finally, the alien moved his head up and down a little. It looked like a nod. "Okay," he said. "But only her. No one else." Jake felt relief wash over him. "Thank you," he said. They walked through the station. The halls were very long. They seemed to go on forever. There were aliens everywhere. Jake saw creatures he could never have imagined. Some had wings. Some had tentacles. Some looked like clouds of gas floating in clear boxes. Most of them stopped to stare at the humans. Lisa walked close to Jake. "This is amazing," she said quietly. "Look at all of them. There must be hundreds of different species here, and they all look like they want to study us like bugs," Jake said back. He tried to smile, but it was hard. They came to a big room. It had tall walls and a high ceiling. At the front of the room was a large desk. 3 aliens sat behind it. One was like Zithrax, but older. It had more metals and its scales looked duller. Next to it was one of the bug creatures. The third one was the strangest thing Jake had ever seen. It looked like a jellyfish made of light. It floated in the air and changed colors slowly. "These are the humans from the Sol system," Zithrak said. He moved to stand at the side of the room. The older alien with scales spoke. "I am High Administrator Velkoth," it said. "This is Evaluator Chadake." The bug creature moved a little. "And this is Evaluator Loomis." The light jellyfish got brighter for a moment. We will decide what happens to your people. That seems like a lot of weight for a first meeting, Jake said. Usually when I meet new people, we just shake hands. Maybe have a drink together. But I guess shaking hands might be hard with some of you. Lisa closed her eyes for a second. Jake knew she thought he should be more serious. But Jake could not help it. When he was nervous, he made jokes. It was just who he was. Velkoth did not change his face. Your people made faster than light travel by yourselves, he said. He talked like Jake had not said anything. This is strange. Young species usually need thousands of years to do this. They need help from older species. But you did it alone. We work hard, Jake said. We are good at solving problems. The bug creature, Chutki, made a clicking sound. Your emotions are strange, it said. You face death. Your whole species might end. But you make small talk. You play with words. Explain why you do this. Lisa stepped forward a little. If I can explain, she said. What Captain Morrison is doing is called humor. It is something all humans do. We use it when we are stressed. It helps us feel better. It helps us connect with others. It helps us deal with bad situations. Humor, the light jellyfish said. Its voice was beautiful. It sounded like music. What is this word? Tell us more. Jake thought about how to explain it. Well, he said, it is hard to put into words. It is when you say something funny, something that makes people laugh. Like a joke. You know what jokes are, right? The three aliens looked at each other. Then Velkoth spoke. The Empire has met about 17,000 different species, he said. None of them have this humor thing you talk about. Some species play games. Some feel happy. But making something just to be funny, that is new to us. We have never seen it before. Jake felt his mouth open in surprise. Wait, he said. Are you serious? None of you tell jokes? Not one species out of 17,000? That is correct, Chuck said. It made more clicking sounds. Tell us why you do this. What good does it do? Lisa and Jake looked at each other. This was very strange. How could no one in the galaxy have a sense of humor? Well, Lisa said slowly, it does many things. It helps people become friends. It makes stress go away. It can help you remember important things. It can help you question people in power without getting in trouble. This is very interesting, Loomis said. The light around it got brighter. Do all humans have this ability? Yes, Jake said. Some people are funnier than others. But we all like jokes. We all laugh. Do you want to hear one? A joke, I mean. Yes, Velkoth said. He leaned forward a little. Show us. Jake thought for a moment. He wanted to pick a good one. Okay, he said. Why don't scientists trust atoms? The three aliens waited. The room was very quiet. Because they make up everything, Jake said. He smiled big, nothing happened. The aliens just stared at him. They did not smile. They did not laugh. They just looked confused. I do not understand, Zithrak said from the side of the room. Lisa took a breath. It is a play on words, she explained. Make-up can mean to lie, to say things that are not true. But make-up also means to form or create. Atoms make up all things in the universe. So the joke uses both meanings. More silence filled the room. I still do not know why that is funny, Chuck said. Jake felt a little defeated. The joke was not that good, but usually people at least smiled. These aliens did not even do that. Maybe try another one, Loomis said. Perhaps a different kind of joke will help us understand. Over the next hour, Jake and Lisa tried to explain humor. They told more jokes. They explained why things were funny. But the aliens just could not get it. They understood the words. They understood the different meanings, but they did not feel the humor. They did not laugh. This is very strange, Velkoth finally said. Your brains work different from ours. You can hold two ideas at the same time. You can see that both are true, and this makes you feel good. This is a very unusual ability. We never thought it was special, Lisa said. For us it is just normal. Everyone on Earth does this. It is very special, Chick said. We have never seen anything like it. This changes how we think about your species. Is that good or bad? Jake asked. He was not sure he wanted to know the answer. We do not know yet, Velkoth said. We must think about this. We must talk to others. You will stay here on the station. We will give you good rooms. You will be safe. But you cannot leave, so we are prisoners? Jake said. You are guests? Velkoth said. But yes, you must stay here. We will talk more tomorrow. Zithrax came forward. Come with me, he said. I will show you where you will sleep. As they walked through the halls again, Lisa spoke quietly to Jake. "That was the strangest conversation I have ever had," she said. "Tell me about it," Jake said. "I told jokes to aliens and they looked at me like I was crazy. This is not how I thought first contact would go." "Do you think we are in danger?" Lisa asked. "I do not know," Jake said honestly. They seem more confused than angry now. But confused can turn to scared, and scared can turn to dangerous. They came to a door. Zithrax opened it. Inside was a room with 2 beds. It was plain but clean. There was a window that looked out at space. "You will stay here," Zithrax said. "Food will be brought to you. If you need anything, press this button." He pointed to a panel on the wall. "Do not try to leave. The guards will stop you." "Thank you," Lisa said. Zithrax turned to leave. Then he stopped. He looked back at them. "I have a question," he said. "Yes?" Jake said. "Why do you make jokes when you are scared?" Zithrax asked. "It does not make sense. Fear should make you serious. It should make you careful. But you do the opposite." Jake thought about it. "Because being serious all the time is hard," he said. "Life is scary sometimes. Bad things happen. If we could not laugh, we would be sad all the time. Jokes help us remember that even when things are bad, there is still good in the world. There is still joy." Zithrax stared at him with all 4 eyes. Then he left without saying anything else. 3 days passed. Jake and Lisa did not leave their room much, but they were not alone. Every day aliens came to talk to them. They asked many questions about humor. They wanted to understand it. They wanted to know how it worked. On the 3rd day, they were taken back to the big room. But this time it was different. The room was full of aliens. There must have been 50 of them. All different kinds. All staring at the 2 humans. Velkoth stood at the front. He had a small computer in his hand. He was writing things down as Jake and Lisa talked. "We want you to tell us more jokes," he said. "We have been studying what you told us before. But we need more examples. We need to understand this better." Lisa looked at all the aliens watching them. She felt like she was on stage. "Okay," she said. "Here is one. A man walks into a bar. He says, 'Ouch,'" she waited. All the aliens waited too. No one said anything. One of the mushroom creatures spoke. "Did the bar break?" it asked. Its voice sounded like wind through trees. "No, no," Lisa said. She tried not to sigh. "When I say walks into a bar, you think I mean a place where people drink. But the funny part is that he walked into a real bar, like a piece of metal. That is why he says ouch. He hurt himself. Why would he walk into metal?" Chetke asked. "That is not smart. That is a mistake. It is not real," Jake said. He was starting to feel tired. "The joke is not about a real person. It is about the surprise. You think one thing will happen, then something else happens. That is what makes it funny." Loomis changed colors. It went from blue to green to yellow. "I think I am starting to understand," it said. "This humor requires thinking about 2 things at once. You must hold both ideas in your mind. Then when one idea wins, it creates a feeling. That feeling is amusement, yes," Lisa said. She smiled. "That is exactly right. You are getting it. This is very interesting," Loomis said. "And your people do this all the time?" "Every day?" "Pretty much," Jake said. "We have people whose job is to be funny. We make movies that are just jokes. We write books full of jokes. We even use humor in schools and in War," Velkoth said. All 4 of his eyes got big. "Explain what you mean," Lisa spoke carefully. "Soldiers use humor to deal with fear," she said. "When they face death, they make jokes. It helps them stay strong. It helps them not give up. We call it gallows humor. It means making jokes when things are very bad." The room got very quiet. Some of the aliens made sounds. Others moved in strange ways. Jake could not tell what they were thinking. But he knew something had changed. Velkoth put down his computer. "This changes everything," he said quietly. "Commander Zithrax, call the War Council. We need to talk about the humans right away." Jake felt his stomach drop. "Wait," he said. "Why do you need the War Council? We are not fighting anyone. We are just telling you about jokes." "That is the problem," Czech said. It made loud clicking sounds. "No species in all of the Empire can do what you do. You can keep your mind strong even when you are scared. You can find joy even when facing death. This makes you very hard to beat. You cannot be broken by fear. You cannot be made to give up." "Oh," Lisa said. "So you think we are either very strong or very crazy?" "Both," Loomis said. Its colors flashed bright red. You are both. Things moved very fast after that. Jake and Lisa were taken to new rooms. These rooms were much nicer. They had soft beds and good food. But there were more guards now. Not to keep them in, Jake thought. To keep others out. They had become important, but he was not sure if that was good or bad. That night Zithrax came to see them. He looked different somehow. Less stiff. Less formal. He almost looked tired, though Jake was not sure if aliens got tired the same way humans did. Captain Morrison, Commander Grant, he said. I have news. The High Council has made a choice. Your species will be given membership in the Empire. You will be allowed to keep your freedom. You can travel where you want. But we want something from you. What do you want? Jake asked. He tried to keep his voice calm. We want you to teach us about humor, Zithrax said. The Council thinks it can help us. We have been at war with another group for 300 years. The war is not going well for anyone. Both sides are tired. Both sides are losing. But no one will stop. The Council thinks if we learn humor, we might find a new way. A way to end the war. Lisa sat down slowly. You want us to teach you jokes so you can win a war? She asked. No, Zithrax said. His voice was quiet. We want you to teach us jokes so maybe we can end the war. So maybe we can stop fighting. Jake felt something shift in his chest. This was bigger than he thought. This was not just about first contact anymore. This was about peace. This was about saving lives. Tell us more, he said. Tell us about this war. Zithrax sat down. It was strange to see. He had always stood so straight before. The war started 300 years ago, he said. It was over land, over resources. The Korthax Collective wanted what we had. We would not give it to them, so they attacked. We fought back. Now we have been fighting for so long, no one remembers why it started. But neither side will give up. Who are the Korthax? Lisa asked. They are machines, Zithrax said. Not like your computers. They are alive, but they are not organic. They think with circuits instead of brains. They see us as weak because we have emotions. We see them as cold because they do not. And you think humor can help with this? Jake asked. We do not know, Zithrax said honestly, but we must try something. Millions have died. Both sides are exhausted. But we cannot find a way out. Our thinking is stuck. We need something new. Your humor is new. It makes you think differently. Maybe it can help us think differently, too. Jake looked at Lisa. She looked back at him. They did not need to speak. They both knew what they had to do. We will help, Jake said. We will teach you everything we can. But I cannot promise it will work. Humor is not magic. It is just a different way of seeing things. That is all we ask, Zithrax said. A different way of seeing things. That is exactly what we need. Over the next weeks, more people came from Earth. Teachers came. Scientists came. Even comedians came. Professional funny people who made their living telling jokes. The Empire set up special classes. Aliens came from all over to learn about humor. It was slow going. Most aliens still could not understand why things were funny. But they tried. They practiced. They studied. Some of them started to get it. Not fully, but a little bit. Zithrax was one of them. He worked harder than anyone else. Every day he came to Jake and Lisa. He asked them to explain jokes. He tried to make his own jokes. They were not good jokes. But they were getting better. One day, Jake found Zithrax sitting alone. The alien looked sad, or at least Jake thought he looked sad. It was hard to tell with a face so different from his own. Are you okay? Jake asked. Zithrax looked up. I do not understand how you do it, he said. I have studied human history. Your people have faced so many bad things, wars, diseases, natural disasters, people hurting each other. And yet you make jokes about all of it. How? How can you laugh when there is so much pain? Jake sat down next to him. Because we have to, he said simply. If we could not laugh, the pain would win. It would destroy us. Humor is how we survive. It is how we keep going when everything seems hopeless. It does not mean we do not care. It does not mean we think bad things are okay. It means we refuse to let the bad things take away our joy. My people have faced hard times too, Zithrax said. But we survive through discipline. Through duty. Through following the rules. Those are good things, Jake said. Really good things. But humor adds something more. It adds lightness. It adds the ability to step back and see that sometimes life is just silly. Not everything needs to be serious. Not everything needs to be about duty. Sometimes you can just laugh and let it go. Zithrax was quiet for a long time. Then he said something that surprised Jake. I want to tell you something, he said. Next month, we are going to meet with the Korthax. It will be the first time our leaders have talked face-to-face in 50 years. We are going to try to make peace. That is amazing, Jake said. How did you make that happen? We told them about you, Zithrax said. About humans. About humor. They were confused. They were worried. But they were also curious. They wanted to know more. So they agreed to talk. And the High Council wants you to be there. They want a human at the peace talks, me? Jake said. He felt his heart start to beat fast. Why me? I'm not trained for this. I do not know how to do peace talks. That is exactly why they want you, Zithrax said. You do not follow the old rules. You think in new ways. You see things we cannot see. That is what we need. Jake took a deep breath. He did not know if he could do this, but he knew he had to try. 6 months had passed since Jake and Lisa first met the Caltharian Empire. Earth sent 50 more people to help with the cultural exchange. Teachers came. Diplomats came. And yes, comedians came too. Real professional funny people who knew how to make people laugh. The Empire also sent people to Earth. Scientists went to study human culture. They watched movies. They read books. They talked to regular people on the street. They tried to understand why humans were so different from everyone else in the galaxy. Jake was now called Ambassador Morrison. He did not really feel like an ambassador. He still thought of himself as a ship captain. But Earth needed someone to represent them, and he was the one who had made first contact. So ambassador he became. One evening, Jake stood in a new building on the station. It was strange to think about, but the Empire had built a comedy club. An actual place where aliens came to watch humans tell jokes. And sometimes brave aliens tried to tell jokes themselves. Tonight, Zithrax was going to try his first real comedy show. Jake was in the audience with about 100 other beings. Some were human. Most were not. Everyone was curious to see what would happen. Zithrax walked onto the small stage. He still moved stiffly, but not as much as before. He stood in front of the microphone and looked out at the crowd. Why did the Caltharian cross the road? He asked. His voice was still formal. But there was something new in it, something that might have been playfulness. The audience waited. Even the humans did not know what was coming. To honor his ancestors and serve the Empire, Zithrax said. He paused for a moment. But he did it in a very silly way. The humans in the crowd laughed. It was not a great joke, but it was pretty good for a first try. The alien parts of the audience looked confused. But they were trying. That was what mattered. Zithrax told a few more jokes. Some were better than others. By the end, even some of the aliens were making sounds that might have been laughter. Jake felt proud of his friend. After the show, Jake found Zithrax at the bar. The Caltharian was drinking something that glowed blue. Jake ordered a drink for himself and sat down. That was really good, Jake said. Your timing is getting much better. Thank you, Zithrax said, but I still do not fully understand it. I can do the mechanics. I can set up a joke and deliver the punchline. But I do not feel what you feel. I do not experience the joy of it. That might come with time, Jake said. Or it might not. But you are trying. That is what counts. Zithrax turned to look at Jake with all 4 eyes. I need to tell you something, he said. The peace talks with the Korthax are happening next month. The date is set. The High Council wants you there, as I told you before. But there is more. What is it? Jake asked. The Korthax are machine beings, Zithrax said. They think with pure logic. They do not have emotions like we do. If they do not understand humor, and we barely understand it ourselves, I do not know if this will work. I do not know if we can make peace. Jake thought about this. He took a sip of his drink. You know, he said slowly, maybe that is exactly why it will work. You and the Korthax have been enemies for so long. You both think you are right. You both think the other side is wrong. But humor shows you that maybe you are both a little bit silly. Maybe the whole war is silly. And if you can see that, really see it, maybe you can let it go. Zithrax was quiet for a moment. That is a very human way of thinking, he said. That is the point, Jake said with a smile. That is why I am going to be there. The next few weeks were busy. Jake and Lisa prepared for the peace talks. They studied everything they could about the Korthax. They learned about machine intelligence. They learned about how the war had started and how it had gone on for so long. The more Jake learned, the more he saw how stuck both sides were. The Empire thought the Korthax were cold and heartless. The Korthax thought the Empire was weak and emotional. Both sides were trapped by what they believed about each other. One night, Lisa came to Jake's room. She looked worried. "I have been thinking," she said. "What if this does not work? What if we go to these talks and nothing changes? We could make things worse. The war could get bigger." Jake nodded. "I have been thinking the same thing," he said. "But we have to try. If we do nothing, the war will definitely continue. If we try, maybe we can help. Maybe we can save some lives. That is worth the risk. When did you get so wise?" Lisa asked with a small smile. "I am not wise," Jake said. "I am just a guy who tells bad jokes. But sometimes bad jokes are exactly what people need." The day of the peace talks finally came. They traveled to a neutral station between Empire and Korthax space. The station was old and empty. It had been built long ago as a trading post, but when the war started, everyone left. Now it was the perfect place for enemies to meet. Jake and Lisa walked through the empty halls with Velkoth, Zithrax, and several other Empire officials. Their footsteps echoed in the silence. It felt lonely and sad. They came to a large room. Inside was a long table. On one side sat the Empire delegation. On the other side would sit the Korthax. But the Korthax seats were still empty. Everyone took their places. Jake and Lisa sat with the Empire group. Jake felt very out of place. Everyone else looked important and official. He was just wearing his ship captain uniform. Lisa looked calm, but Jake could see the tension in her shoulders. Then the door on the other side of the room opened. The Korthax entered. They were not what Jake expected. He thought they would look like robots from Earth movies, but they were more beautiful than that. They were smooth and elegant. Their bodies seemed to flow like water made of metal. Their faces had no features except for glowing blue lights where eyes might be. The lead Korthax moved to the table. When it spoke, its voice was perfect. Too perfect. There was no warmth in it, no feeling at all. "I am Prime Unit 7, it said. "I lead the Korthax delegation. We have come because the Empire claims to have found a species with strange abilities. We want to see if this claim is true." Jake raised his hand a little. "That would be us," he said. "Hi, we are humans. Nice to meet you. Well, not nice exactly because of the whole war thing, but you know what I mean. Or maybe you do not. Do you know what I mean?" Lisa kicked him under the table, but gently. Prime Unit 7's lights focused on Jake. "You are demonstrating the behavior called humor," it said. "We have studied the Empire's reports. We find it illogical." "Well, that is kind of the whole point," Jake said. "Humor is not always logical. It is emotional. It is about feelings and connections. Sometimes it is about finding weird links between things, or laughing at how strange life can be." Another Korthax spoke. Its voice was just as perfect and empty as the first. "Strange means without pattern, without meaning. Why would a species celebrate things that have no meaning?" Lisa leaned forward. "It is not about celebrating meaninglessness," she said. "It is about accepting that life itself can be absurd. It is about not taking yourself too seriously. It is about connecting with other people through shared joy." "We do not understand," Prime Unit 7 said. The lights on its face got brighter for a moment, then dimmed again. Jake looked at Velkoth. The alien administrator gave him a small nod. It was time to try something different. "Okay," Jake said. "Let me ask you something. You are machines, right? You think with computers and circuits?" "That is correct," Prime Unit 7 said. "Then here is a joke for you," Jake said. "Why do programmers mix up Halloween and Christmas?" The Korthax waited. The room was silent. "Because Octa 31 equals Dec 25, Jake said. He waited, then added, "In computer language, Octal 31 equals decimal 25. It is a math joke." There was a long pause. Then Prime Unit 7 said something that surprised everyone. "The mathematical equivalence is correct," it said, "but we do not perceive why this would be amusing. However, we acknowledge that you are attempting to communicate with us through your unique cognitive framework. This is notable." Jake felt a small spark of hope. The Korthax had not laughed, but they had at least acknowledged what he was trying to do. That was something. That was a start. Maybe, just maybe, this could work after all. The peace talks continued for hours. Jake and Lisa tried to explain humor to beings who had never experienced it. The Empire delegates listened carefully. The Korthax processed everything with their perfect machine logic. But nothing seemed to change. They were all still stuck. Finally, Jake had an idea. He stood up from his chair. Everyone looked at him. Okay, he said. Let me try something different. Forget jokes for a minute. Let me tell you what I see when I look at this situation. Prime Unit 7's lights focused on him. Proceed, it said. You have been at war for 300 years, Jake said. He looked at both sides of the table. Both of you are losing. You are bleeding resources. You are losing people or units or whatever you call yourselves. Neither side is winning. Both sides are just stuck, right? That is an accurate statement, Prime Unit 7 said. Velkoth nodded his head slowly. Yes, he said. That is true, and that is kind of funny, Jake said. Not funny, haha, but funny in a dark, strange way. Two advanced groups, one organic, one machine, both thinking they are rational, both thinking they are right, but both trapped in a situation that is destroying them. That does not make sense. That is absurd, and humans would laugh at that. Not because we think war is good, but because sometimes laughter is the only sane response to something insane. The room was very quiet. Everyone was thinking about what Jake had said. Then the Korthak started making sounds to each other. Jake could not hear it, but he guessed they were talking through wireless signals. After a moment, Prime Unit 7 spoke again. We have analyzed your statement, it said. You are correct that our current situation is not optimal for either party. However, we do not understand how your emotional response of laughter relates to finding a solution. Zithrak surprised everyone by speaking up. If I may, he said. I have been studying human humor for 6 months. At first, I also found it strange. But I am starting to understand something. Humor lets humans look at things from many angles at once. It lets them step outside of rigid patterns. Most important, it lets them admit uncomfortable truths without being crushed by them. Lisa nodded. Exactly, she said. For 300 years, both of you have been locked into specific stories about each other. The Empire sees the Korthaks as cold machines with no feelings. The Korthak sees the Empire as weak organics ruled by emotion. Both stories have become so fixed that you cannot see any other way. You cannot see any way out. Jake continued the thought. Humor breaks those fixed patterns, he said. It lets you see that maybe both of your stories are a little bit wrong. Maybe you are both right about some things and wrong about others. Maybe the real joke is that you have spent 300 years fighting over differences that do not matter as much as you thought. Another long silence filled the room. Then Prime Unit 7 said something that made everyone sit up straighter. That is illogical, it said. But we find ourselves unable to argue against it. We have been operating on the belief that our conflict with the Empire is fundamentally rational. But if we use your framework, perhaps the conflict itself is the irrational element. Velkoth leaned forward. Are you saying you are willing to think about this differently? He asked. We are saying, Prime Unit 7 replied, that your human associates have introduced something we had not considered before. The existence of a species that can stay strong through what you call humor suggests that there may be ways to solve complex problems that we have not explored. This is worth investigating. Another Korthak's unit spoke. Furthermore, if humans can find value in absurdity, perhaps there is value in reconsidering our own rigid categories. Perhaps the line between organic and synthetic intelligence is not as important as we believed. Jake felt hope growing in his chest. So you might be willing to work toward peace? He asked carefully. We are willing to explore alternatives to our current deadlock, Prime Unit 7 said. The humans have shown that there are ways of thinking that we do not possess. This is intriguing. We propose a joint research program. Both the Empire and the Korthaks will work together to study cognitive flexibility and different ways of solving problems. And we request that humanity participate in this research. Velkoth's scales changed color slightly. You wish to study humor? He asked. We wish to study the mental frameworks that make humor possible, Prime Unit 7 corrected. If such frameworks provide advantages, we must understand them. And if both our civilizations work on this together, it will require cooperation instead of conflict. Lisa spoke slowly. In other words, she said, you want to study how to think differently, and you want to do it together, which means you will have to stop fighting. That is a simplified but accurate summary, Prime Unit 7 confirmed. Jake looked around the table, at Lisa, at Zithrax, at Velkoth, at the Korthak's unit sitting across from them. Did we just help end a 300-year war by telling bad jokes? He asked. The war is not ended, Prime Unit 7 said, but hostilities will stop while we explore this research. Consider it a long ceasefire. I will take it, Jake said. He was smiling now. Though I have to say, this is the strangest first contact story ever. Humans show up in space and everyone wants to learn how to tell jokes. Scythorax made that sound again. The almost laugh. It is absurd, he agreed. But perhaps that is appropriate. Perhaps the universe itself enjoys the joke. Lisa's eyes went wide. Did you just make a joke? She asked. I think I did, Scythorax said. He sounded surprised at himself. Even Prime Unit 7 seemed to pause at that. Interesting, it said. The organic is showing behavioral change. This confirms the value of our proposed research. The details of the ceasefire took the rest of the day to work out. But everyone was cooperating now. The tone had changed. There was still tension, but there was also something new, something that might have been hope. That evening, Jake stood by a window looking out at the stars. Lisa came and stood next to him. You look thoughtful, she said. Just thinking about how weird this all is, Jake replied. A year ago, I was just a ship captain. I worried about engines and supplies. Now I am a peace negotiator, and my main skill is telling bad jokes. Hey, Lisa said. They are not all bad. Some of them are okay. Name one, Jake challenged. Lisa thought about it. Then she laughed. Okay, you got me. They are pretty much all terrible, but terrible in a good way. Thanks, Jake said with a smile. They stood in comfortable silence watching Korthax and Empire representatives mingle awkwardly below. The two groups were trying to figure out how to interact without fighting. It would take time, but at least they were trying. You know what the really funny thing is? Jake said after a while. What? Lisa asked. Humans spent hundreds of years wondering if we were alone in the universe. We worried about how aliens would judge us. Would we be smart enough? Advanced enough? Good enough? And Lisa prompted. And it turns out the thing that makes us special is that we can be silly. We can find joy in weird things. We can laugh at ourselves and at the universe. Jake shook his head. You could not make this up. No one would believe it. Lisa smiled. Maybe that is the real joke, she said. The universe is so big and so serious and so old, and what it needed all along was someone who could make it laugh. That is actually pretty smart, Jake said. Do not sound so surprised, Lisa said, giving him a playful shove. Jake laughed. Really laughed. And across the room, Scythorax heard him and made that almost laugh sound again. It was getting better. More natural. More real. 3 months later, the Joint Research Station opened. Humans, Caltharians, Korthax, and dozens of other species worked together. They studied humor. They studied creativity. They studied new ways of thinking. The war was officially declared over. The news called it the most unusual peace treaty in history. Earth became famous across the galaxy, not for weapons, not for technology, but for comedy. Human entertainers became the most popular thing in the Empire. Comedy shows from Earth were broadcast everywhere. Alien students came to Earth to learn how to be funny. Jake eventually stopped being a full-time diplomat. He went back to space sometimes. He captained ships again when he missed the stars. But he always made sure his crew included someone funny. Space was big and beautiful, but it could also be lonely. A good laugh made it better. Lisa became Earth's permanent ambassador to the Caltharian Empire. She was known for her ability to bridge the gap between human silliness and alien seriousness. She was good at making both sides understand each other. And Scythorax became something no one expected. He became the first non-human comedian. His comedy show was strange. He told jokes very literally. Then he explained why they did not make logical sense. Somehow this was hilarious. He toured the galaxy. His shows sold out everywhere. Years passed. The Empire and the Korthax stayed at peace. The research program continued. More species joined in. Everyone wanted to understand this strange human ability to find joy in everything. One day, a reporter asked Velkoth about humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. He was very old now. He had retired from being High Administrator. But people still respected his wisdom. They taught us to laugh, he said simply. And in learning to laugh, we remembered how to live. Jake heard about this quote. It made him smile. He was back on Earth visiting his sister Katie and her kids. They were having dinner together. The kids were telling him jokes they had learned in school. Bad jokes, silly jokes, perfect jokes. He thought about everything that had happened, about meeting aliens for the first time, about near